Hey everybody, it's Steve. It's the 5th of April and we're up at the farm. That again is west of Duluth, north of Cloquet, Minnesota. Had a big storm go through here. This is the same storm. It landed some stuff in Minneapolis at the city house, but this is the same storm that produced the tornadoes down south, and up here it just produced ice and snow. The new snow that just came, about 2.5 inches here at the farm, raises the totals for this area to the third highest ever. And I think by tomorrow we're supposed to get another 2 inches of snow. We'll be at the second position ever. But you know, I wanted to give you a little look around. I'm walking up the driveway. I'll turn this around a little bit. You can see the house behind me. So here's, as I walk up, I'm not going to walk up very far, but here's walking up the driveway. And there's not much I can do here right now. You can see how much snow is in the woods here. This woods isn't very long, 300-400 feet deep. And then I've got woods over here, and our property basically ends at the end of the wood line. This open area is a garden, and then some more woods here, and then the house. I want to walk back. We have a container there for storage. That's going to move actually to the northeast corner of the property. We're going to put a couple of them in and then put a roof over the top as cold storage. You can see the old Quonset hut garage there. And then those trees in the background, it's about 500 feet to the county road from there. And then over here, this is field, and behind there, this all turns into field back over this way. So this all turns into field on the other side of this woods here. About 5 acres of field over there. And right over in this area, this is where we plan to put the hoop house, just in front of the brush that you see there. The ditch that we dug runs right along the driveway here. We'll show you that when it starts running in the spring. One of our other projects that we'll have coming up is to recover our tractor shed. The wind just tore it apart early this winter, and so we just didn't, we just stopped storing it in there because it was, it already froze in the end. We couldn't fix it, but the wind had torn the top off. This is the second top we put on it. The original one lasted 2 seasons, and then we just put a tarp from Northern Tool on there. That lasted really 1.5 seasons. It didn't last this season. And then over here, we'll be doing this later, that big bubble of snow is one of 2 big burn piles that need to be done, but we need to get rid of the snow. It's just too crazy how much snow we have here for this late in the season. So anyhow, I'm gonna run and do a little bit of video. I'll tag some video on here on what we've been doing. So you saw the video where we went and got the hay wagon. I've been tapping maple trees down in Minneapolis. The city house has got 5 good maple trees, and so I've only identified one group of 3 maple trees on this property. Hey everyone, it's the next day. It's Thursday. Sun's out. Thought I'd give you a little peek of what things are like when the sun is out today. And then I got the tractor started. We're going to do a little plowing. It's very ice corroded, but we want to get the driveway widened up. And as you can see, I'm squinting into the sun here. Then I'll take you on a little tour, show you the kind of where we anticipate building at, which is kind of across the fields here. Behind me, the garage, car parking. Over this way are the fields up behind me. There's the driveway. So let's go take a little trip and I'll show you around. Okay, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself. I am 62 years old. I live in the West Metro of the Minneapolis area in one of the second ring, third ring suburbs. And I graduated high school in 1978, had a variety of jobs, met my wife at church, and we were married in 1990, so we're just coming up on our 33rd. We have 5 children, 28 down to 17. And we've had a really good life at the City House. As I said, my business has ebbed and flowed. It's getting smaller now. I sell and service accounting software, and our primary product is getting a little aged, and so it's starting to slow down a little bit, but that's okay. I'm 62. I hope to ride this ship till 65 and then probably go to work for somebody else on a part-time basis. I plan to work till I'm 70. So this is the place where my wife grew up at, and so we have been living in my neck of the woods for 30 years, and now we're going to live in her neck of the woods in a couple of years. We'll move when my my 17-year-old who's a junior in high school, when she finishes high school, then we'll get going and work on moving in earnest. In the meantime, we are working on this property. It's 16 acres, again, west of Duluth, north of Cloquet. And we have got some projects planned for this year, so we're going to do some land clearing. We want to get a cold storage building. I've said that in other places here. And it's called First Time Farmer because most of the farm-related stuff is all new to me. Now, I am very, very mechanically inclined. I started life as a diesel mechanic, and then got into sales and construction, and then moved into software and consulting. So I've kind of been through the gamut, but I can weld, I fix cars, I can build reasonably well. I'm certainly not a construction guy. I wouldn't build my house, as an example. And so all that limits me is time and money at this stage. And we're going to keep working on that and keep improving the property until we get up there sometime in the spring of 2025 is the plan. But I will be bringing to you a video of the things that we're working on, good, bad, and ugly, and try and keep you up to date with what we're working on here. And of course, all we're working on here is trying to get the snow, this late season snow that came, pushed back so that the driveway is wide enough in case we get more. So enjoy. Thank you for coming along for the ride. All right, this is the south side driveway. It's normally gated. These gates were open when we got some snow, and they're all frozen in now, so it's fine. We're not too worried about it. Nobody's going to get in here and take anything out of it because you can't get it out of the snowbanks. When we come up here just a little way off to this side, this opening here, there's a concrete pad here that used to be a mobile home. Melissa's grandmother lived in a mobile home here, and this is where I intend to build my new shop building. Hopefully something around 40 by 80, just right in here going down towards the trees in that direction. And then directly across from it over here in this space, we hope to put a cold storage building, and this is what we're going to work on this year. We're going to take these few big pines out of here, and then either we're going to pull this stuff or we're going to bring a forestry grinder in to take care of it, but we're going to clear out much of this underbrush along here, saving some of the bigger trees along the ridge line. The high spot is right at the ridge line where those pines are at and where these pines are at. This is the high spot in the lot. So we're going to leave the trees probably on the ridge, and then we're going to clear this out. The thought is we're going to put in 2 containers on concrete post foundations, and then space them 30 feet apart from each other, cover that 30 feet with a roof, and that will give us a place to park trailers and implements for the tractors, things that don't need to be weather protected per se, but I don't want them sitting in the snow either. So that's really what it boils down to here, is trying to get some cover under them. And so that is the project for this and the hoop house over on the other end of the property. Are the 2 projects for this year, and hopefully both time and money will hang on for them. So this goes back just a little bit, and then you can see the motorhome out in that area. The motorhome is our old motorhome. It's now being used as a bunkhouse. My son, who comes up here quite often, is terribly allergic to the cats that are at the main house, and so I used to stay out here when we had renters in the house, and now he stays out here to avoid the cats. So we set it up here on the ridge line last fall. He's been in here kind of quasi-winter camping a couple of times, but it works out as a pretty nice bunkhouse type arrangement here. And then just another picture, you can you can see all along here the field. This was cleared, and I'll post some video of that with a forestry grinder. Most of this was cleared out in one shot in 2019, and then we've been mowing and maintaining it. My intention is to turn this into production grass. So that line of trees right there will all come out because there's field behind that, and we'll turn it into some type of production grass that we can use for the animals.
Here's that video of the forest grinder that we brought in 2019. Cleared 4.5 acres of overgrown. You can see the size of the willow brush and the other stuff beyond the tractor there. The entire area that I'm going to show you here in just a minute was covered with that. This was a local gentleman, a young guy, who has turned this into his business. He contracts with the county and other people to do exactly this. Got his name from my local John Deere dealer. So he did a great job, and I look for probably reaching out to him again this year and doing some additional land cleaning. And here's the finished product. You can see as I start to move here, all this cleared land was that tall, 18-20 foot tall brush. He cleared it all out in one day, so it saved me a ton of time, and I was very, very pleased with the job that was done.
Okay, so if you see those stakes right there, and then you come back over there to the tree line, that is 60 feet from the tree line to the stakes. So it's an interesting story because what happened is the land here at the north end of this county was surveyed sometime around at, before, don't really know, the turn of the 1900s. So in the 1890s to 1910 somewhere, this was surveyed. And the day it was surveyed, they used posts and chain. So about 10 years ago now, maybe a little longer, maybe 15, there were some variances, and they called and resurveyed it. Now they found out that the original survey was off a couple of degrees. Well, when you're down where the county seat is at and where the survey started at, a couple of degrees don't amount to much. It was 8 inches here, 10 inches there reported. But when you got up here into the far end of the county, the variance was 60 feet. So about 10 years ago, all the lot lines shifted to the south by 60 feet. So when I showed you the wood line at the other end, our property used to be right at the tree line. Now our property is 60 feet into the tree line, and consequently our property used to end at the tree line with the pines there, and now it's 60 feet wider. So this portion right here, this 60 feet, is field. And so I have begun, I don't know if you can tell them in there, I'll walk you out there when the weather's right, but I've begun planting maple trees in here. A lot of pine, a lot of birch, not a lot of maple, and I've kind of gotten into mapling. So I've been putting some maple trees in there. I think I have 4, and we're going to put a couple a year in there and kind of fill this space in a line front to back with some maple trees.
Hey, thanks for joining me on this little adventure. We're going to be posting some movement. There's been some heat since this was filmed, and some water running, so we're going to show you some of that in the next video. Really appreciate it. If you like what we're doing here and you want to follow along, make sure you subscribe and give it a thumbs up or ring the bell so that you know when I post one. I'm trying to post once a week. I'm a little behind schedule right now, but just really thanks for coming along for the ride, and I look forward to doing more.